Hi, it's me. I've given up on my husband ever finishing this world's longest conference call, so I'm gonna just deliver this live address here from the privacy of my bedroom. It's not awkward at all. Just nothing is awkward at all in this brave new world that we're still living in 6 months after it started. Coach MK wanted to thank everybody who was here for September. For those of you who are not continuing into October, you are Coach Your Love. We're really going to miss you. We've got some new people. I want to say hi and let you know that the programs will be dropping later today. Everything's done except for the videos. There are 2 that I want to redo because I went back and watched them and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Sometimes I don't do that really well. And there you go. So I thought I'll just I'll try this as a first. I'll say hello to everyone publicly by September and introduce October right here. This video will be added later to the playlist, which will be available as well in the membership area of the website for everyone except Build, because you know what? I just gave up on the guy ever getting back to me to fix out the Build page, so we're going to pretend it doesn't exist. But here we go, October Madness. October, what I was thinking when I programmed this all at the beginning of the year, thinking I was going to get ahead and stay ahead of myself, I had no idea that there would be actual madness happening back in December when I created the plan for today. But it's all very apt, and I think you'll like the names, and I think you'll like the workouts too. What October has always meant for me is a slowing down of sorts. Usually I'm running a fall marathon or I'm having a baby. For the past 8 years, it's been one or the other and very little in between. So October is, unlike August, it is less running than I want to run, but more anticipation of what's going to come at the end, followed by 2 weeks of rest. October always ends up being my lowest mileage month of the year for that reason. And I think you'll find that no matter what mileage you log this month, it won't be that far off what you've done in the past too. What we're changing is the pressure that you put on yourself and the focus that you put on each and every day, deciding which workouts are the most important and where does everything need to be and worrying that you're behind. We take all of that away because you know what? October is hard. It is getting dark and staying dark. It's harder to get out of bed, even if you're a morning person who's really annoying. I'm like, I can snooze a little more. Oh my gosh, because the last thing we want to do is get outside when it's dark and cold, even though it's not icy yet. It's finally not too hot and we can breathe. Yay! But we could also have warm drinks and stay in bed. Yay! So trying to help you get out the door, I got you 2 workouts and maintain. I'm awake. It's a lie you can tell yourself every day. And supercharged, which is something we can all pretend to be even when we're absolutely not. So I'm awake to talk you through this one. You got 1 kilometer. That's a little over half a mile at your 10K pace. Remember, 10K, it's not about hitting the pace. It's about, which is I like to think of it as a sophisticated step-by-step process of learning to run by feel. So we learn to feel easy by keeping our easy effort runs under 140. And then we play around with shades of hard throughout the year. Each month we have a different pace that we sort of focus on, but another really critical baseline pace that you need to learn to feel is your 10K effort. 10K is a proxy for lactate threshold. It's a proxy for that pace that you could sustain for roughly 40 minutes and not a second longer. A lot of people who aren't professional runners think, oh, I could hold this for half an hour, and then they actually totally can't. That's not unusual. So we try to tie effort to time over the course of time here in fitness protection. And we try to make things really unfamiliar, which is why we use the metric system for most Americans. Everybody else is like, I don't get it. Just you wait. There'll be some months where things are in miles. So right now you got a kilometer at 10K pace, which is 2 minutes per mile faster than your 140 effort. So whatever pace you're running at 140 at the end, just look down. And if it's, let's say it's a 10-minute mile, just to keep the math nice and easy, you're going to run an 8-minute mile. No faster. That's the thing. Do you have to achieve an 8-minute mile? No, but that's a cap. Kind of like 140 is your effort cap. 8 minutes per mile is your pace cap on your 10K effort. Got it? Okay, so we're going to have alternators there, and then this is going to be like a cut down workout. So we got 10K pace, then you got your 5K pace, which is no more than 1 minute faster. So we're not saying that you have to run a 7-minute mile. We're saying you may not run faster than a 7-minute mile, as long as you're going a little bit faster than whatever your 10K pace worked out to be or felt like it was, you're in a good spot. And then finally, you've got 3K pace, which shockingly, no more than 30 seconds faster than your 5K pace. All right. So we go from an effort cap to a pace cap It's not a target. We don't do targets here. What I want you to have is an array of different paces and efforts at your disposal the next time you're in a race situation, instead of being like, what's your pace? 8-minute miles. Okay, so for a 5K, 8-minute miles, and a 10K, 8-minute miles. That's not how it works. If it's 8-minute miles for a 5K, it needs to be like 9-minute miles for a 10K and about 10-minute miles roughly for a marathon, and so on and so forth. That is how it shakes out in every single calculator you will ever play with. And it needs to work that way in your brain too, but it takes a while to learn it. We learn it by practicing here. So I'm Awake is a workout that will help you do that. And it gives you permission to run a little bit faster if you're in one of those places where the ground will be icy soon, and anything faster than 10K pace is going to be a very bad idea. Turning around to Supercharged. You're going to feel supercharged through this workout because it's a float. And it's the last time I think I get to assign a float to you this year. So, no, wait, that's Tenacious. We'll come back to that. So, Supercharged is 10 minutes at half marathon pace, 1-minute jog, and then another 10 minutes at a slightly faster pace, which is your 10K pace. So, after I'm Awake, you're going to be really ready to be supercharged. It's going to feel slower. And again, that's intentional. So, I want you to get used to comparing and contrasting, sustaining a not comfortable pace for 1 kilometer, and really 3K and 5K, they're not comfortable at all, versus coming over to, 10 minutes at half marathon pace, that's nothing. It's a different kind of hard because you're going to be holding back. And then when you get to a little bit faster than that, running 10 minutes at half marathon pace, that's going to be harder too, because you're going to be holding back and comparing it to Monday. So all this, there's still something to learn and still something to dig out of yourself. And we're going to find it in the month of October before we stuff our gullets full of candy. I know, I can't wait. I might do that even. I'm not even going to wait for Halloween. I'm just going to do it. Why not? Then coming over to Rebuild, we've got one workout that progresses over the course of the month called Tenacious AF. Just like the name of one of our marathon plans. Yeehaw. So remember, the work don't need you to like it. And I remind you of this frequently. You guys have the float. So you got a 1-minute jog, followed by 10 seconds of pushing, and then 10 seconds of floating. What I mean by pushing is just going harder. And then by floating, I mean backing off. And I don't want you to worry about efforts, and I don't want you to worry about paces, because in Build and Rebuild, what we're doing is trying to figure out where our body is and make it as short up as humanly possible before we take things to the next level. So play around, meet your body where it's at, and just give me 10 seconds of whatever pushing means to you, followed by 10 seconds of floating. And we're going to alternate those throughout. So followed by 1 minute of walk. We're going to do those in sets. So what a float is not a jog. It's a little bit faster than that. Think of it just like backing off. So if you're pushing to like a 5K pace, then floating would be around 10K pace. It's just a little bit slower, but it's still effort. Does that make sense? So you're not recovering. You're not relaxing. You are pushing and then backing off. Warm up, push, back off, walk. Okay, we'll try to come up with a better visual than this later. I'm going to go draw something on the board, but having this conversation lets me know where the visual needs to be. We just came up with it. Yay. So that's that. Now, turning to Runner Interrupted. You guys have got some fun programming because this is one of my favorite months of the year. This is the month where kids go to school and teachers send them home with crafts, and I suck at crafts. Remember last year when it was like, who can craft this pie? I bet I could bake a pie faster. Actually, no, I probably couldn't, and we raced. Expect lots of stuff like this in your programming this month in Runner Interrupted. And the daily texts, all of the inspiration is drawn from a very special source that I cannot wait for you to see. So the score takes care of itself. If you've been training with me for a while, you know that I am indifferent to football, to professional football. It's like UT Vols or bust. But when it comes to actual coaches, one of the greatest who ever lived is called Bill Walsh, who wrote a book called The Score Takes Care of Itself. And no matter what you think of his team or of him as a person, that aside, the quotes and the wisdom, it's really strong. He's one of the only coaches at the time of a professional football team who said everyone has to practice. I don't care how good you are. Talent does not preclude you from the need to show up. We start together, we warm up together, we cool down together, we wear the same uniforms, and we do the same drills. Being really good does not exclude you from needing to do drills. This is how you stay good. No one's too good for practice. And the books that he's written about it are just amazing, and the wisdom I really think is applicable to anyone who's doing work that they don't want to do, or not doing the thing that they want to do. and during a time when everyone else seems to be doing that thing that you want to be doing. So you get daily wisdom from Bill Walsh in your text messages every single day in Runner Interrupted. So I'm very excited. I had a lot of fun putting that together, and I can't wait for you to get your hands on it. So yay, that seems to be everything there is. That's October. It is madness, but it's our madness. And we're going to run with the madness, and instead of letting it run all over us, just like everything else seems to right now, because you know what's going on here. And don't ever forget it. You're coached, you are loved. And if you are here, and welcome to the new people, you might not know this, but you're winning at life. Yay! Let's go kill October.